Midterm elections are now in the back of our minds right now, but for that election, Wichita County made a change to polling locations.
Landon McBride spoke with county officials to find out how they think the election went. He joins us now with more.
That's right. This was the first major election that on Election Day used centralized voting centers instead of precincts. And while implementing those voting centers went well, there were still some issues on Election Day. The move to centralized voting centers was made for convenience, to keep people from having to find their certain precinct, and officials liked what they saw as a result of that change.
As far as the first big election to operate vote centers, I think that part really went pretty well. And we had told people we would try to keep the same number of voting locations just so everybody, well, then security issues in schools changed, and so we lost all of our public school locations, and so we had to use a lot of private locations.
One issue that came from using those private locations was campaign signs being on the property.
I'm not sure about where we go on to private property, what there is. My basic property rights feeling says, hey, it's their property. All we're doing is renting the space inside to have the election. The rest of it remains theirs. But there may be something in the election law that says, that allows that.
In fact, Texas election law does specifically allow for the signs. Meanwhile, voters enjoyed being able to cast their vote anywhere and not be restricted to a certain precinct location to vote in.
I really enjoyed it. It was quick. It was easy to get through. There wasn't a whole lot of people, so wasn't a lot of time standing in line. So, yeah, we really enjoyed it. My wife and I both did.
The places this year when you can vote anywhere is great. It really worked easy. My daughter goes to school here, so we just stopped in and voted at the same time.
And there were a couple of reasons it took some time for the results to come in.
So that happened to some of our people last night. They couldn't get some of the stuff to close out. Ms. Bohannon said, bring it here, we'll run it. She informed the Secretary of State's office. They said, very good decision, because they were wanting results. The other thing was we had a tremendous number of mail-in ballots.
Despite a few hiccups in the process, the centralized voting centers were a big hit among officials and the voters. Judge Woody Gossam says he expects the vote centers to be used for every election going forward and doesn't see a time there would be a need to go back to voting in precincts.
Okay, Landon, thank you so much.